Hello, speech class. Today I'll be giving my topic on video games and what its impact on today's youth. Now, a lot of people like to play video games as a hobby. That's cool. But a lot of people nowadays don't understand that mature-rated video games are reaching the hands of our younger youth. And that's creating problems, but it does have its pros and cons. Hello, I'm Taylor Gathman, and I will be giving you a speech today about violent video games and the wear and tear that it has on our youth. Now, today, a lot of people play video games as hobbies. Everybody does. But did you know that over 91% of young kids today, from 2 to 17, play video games? That's 64 million kids worldwide. That's a lot of video gaming. Now, it's not all bad. You know, playing video games nowadays can allow a kid's imagination to grow, into a vast areas. They could play as their favorite superheroes. They could play as great peoples of education that were in the history books, such as other games of learning and things like that. Games that are fun for younger youth so that they can learn and have fun at the same time. And now a lot of people are starting to use video games as a visual stimulant to allow kids to express themselves in new ways while learning. And that's perfect. You know what I mean? Some games are different and some games have that same effect. But what we're talking about today is really violent video games. Now the pros or the cons for this, would be that kids nowadays are getting too in-depth with the video games. Too many people are focusing more time on playing video games than instead of living their life and going out and playing with their friends. A lot of kids nowadays from ages 12 to 16 are spending much more, 50% of their time inside playing video games than outside, which is leading to a lot of problems. One, with schoolwork. A lot of kids and individuals are having a lot of problem with their schoolwork. Grades have been decreasing ever since the big boom of video gaming since the 1990s, especially with other things like obesity. Same thing with that. Kids nowadays are not as active as they used to because they have everything at home. They have their fantasy world at the computer with computer games and video games as well. And that's the problem that we're facing now with today's youth. Today's youth is playing a lot of more video games instead of intramural sports. And that's a problem. Also, with kids playing way too much video games, they're losing sight of the values that really matter, such as getting good grades and focusing on what their future could hold. All they're worrying about is the newest game that comes out. Now, when this comes down to it, it's really up to the parents to be able to be involved in their children's video gaming and the development of their mind in all ways. Because if you allow a kid to play 24 hours of the new Call of Duty when they're just a young age, they get molded by what they see. Now, there was an individual that killed his mother and tried to kill his father just because they took away his Halo video game. Now, I mind you, this was an 18-year-old young man that did this. This wasn't a young kid, but this was an older individual that felt so strongly about gaming that he felt that he needed to harm his parents just to be able to get his gaming back. And that's a problem. That's just one case of many throughout all of America and other countries that face this gaming epidemic. Now, I'm not saying that video games is bad, and I'm not saying that individuals and kids and children shouldn't partake in playing games. It's a good thing. But parents need to make sure that they monitor what their kids are doing. Playing a mature-rated game could actually help a child into learning new things at a faster pace than his peers. But you got to monitor it. Letting him play the new Call of Duty game, blowing people up and stuff like that when he's in elementary school really is not going to be too beneficial to his learning, and that's a fact. But to conclude this, I would just like to say that video gaming could help your kids. It could also be a bonding between parents and children to play video games of all types and all varieties. But the biggest thing is, when it comes to mature rating video games and for your children, parents, monitor it. Brothers and sisters, monitor it. Allow yourself to be able to be there so that if the children have any questions or don't understand what's going on, you can explain to them and they're not listening from somebody they're playing with Xbox Live or somewhere on the video game. So to conclude, as long as we pay attention and give the proper attention to our young ones while they play video games, it could be beneficial for everybody. So really, to conclude this, I would just like to say I hope you enjoyed this speech and had a lot of fun and learned some things listening. I am Taylor Gathman. Thank you.